Hello everyone, and welcome back to another preview video for the Steel Division 2 Tribute to Normandy 44 DLC. This time with the first British division of the bunch, the 7th Armoured Division, the Desert Rats. And yeah, they are one of the most veteran formations of the British Army in 1944. And they are also one of the most exhausted ones. They have some equipment, but they are under strength. And these guys really don't want to fight anymore. And also, especially not in the Cages of France. And that's why they bring a pretty interesting stuff to the battlefield, which we will see on all infantry units. And that is the new Battle Rary trait, which gives these units free veterancy on all infantry units, but the veterancy is not really free, as they pay for it by taking extra stress damage and suppression damage from enemy fire. So they have extra damage output, especially if they're not under fire themselves. But once they get under fire, that advantage really starts to dwindle. So you really want to have them firing more than getting fired upon, which makes this a quite interesting division. And yeah, we started with the Recce here, and they come in all versions of the universal carrier, including the 2-inch carrier. You get 20 of those, so if you want to do some 2-inch mortaring there, you can absolutely do so. They have 6 smoke shells, a lot of non-smoke shells there as well. You have scouts, which can come in the universal carriers in White Truck and in Stuart Recce's, so a pretty solid bunch as well here. And they have a Lee Enfield and a Vickers K gun. They are battle weary, but the snipers plus LMG is a really strong power combo for a 20-point unit. Double Thompson as well. Obviously, yes, Lee Enfield got nerfed a bit, but it's still a really powerful combo. And good transport options here, really. The White Truck having some armor, being pretty fast. Willie's obviously really fast. Universal Carrier bringing a brand for 5 points. And Stuart Recce bringing 2 MGs for 15 points with decent armor and decent speed as well. So really strong options all around for the scouts. You get some Daimler AC here, which are pretty solid as well, only coming in B and C phase with 40 pounder with 15 rounds per minute. Pretty solid though, but the B phase obviously a bit hurtful. No radio on these guys, unlike the Daimler Little John, which also only comes from B phase onwards, which obviously has amazing penetration, but lackluster damage. Needs 3 penetration shots to kill a medium tank, so that's annoying. But outside of that, good penetration there. Only 1 Bessa on both of these, but pretty solid vehicle, really fast vehicle as well, with 80 kmh on the road, 40 off-road, so nice quad there as well. Scout Piats here with same transports as the normal scouts, bringing the PR to the battlefield, but no sniper rifle or Vickers K gun on these guys, so not quite as amazing here. Stack count, normal, low rate of fire, so it's not that amazing, but comes with solid availability here, decent, not amazing. Yeah, veterancy locked as well. Then you get your Stuart 6s here of the Irish Hussars. And they are pretty normal here as well. No 50 cal on the top. Only 3 MGs here. Pretty standard little Stuart. So Stuart 6s, quite normal. Same goes for the 75mm auto car here. Unfortunately, not in A phase either. A good combo. I really like them in the 8th Indian, but more so liking them for the opener. They are pretty cost efficient. They have pretty radio, they have a good gun, they can do decent fire support. The 50 cal helps out there as well, if you get ever closer to the enemy, but it's a pretty strong vehicle early game. In the mid and late game, it's not quite as amazing. So not the biggest fan of it here. Cromwell 4 here is a decent one. The Cromwell here for sure helping out, being fast, giving you decent anti-infantry firepower. Double Bessa here, quite nice as well for 55-point tanks. This guy will deal good damage against infantry. HE shells on these Cromwells pretty solid. Frontal armor not amazing, but they are fast. And against lighter weak tanks, they work quite nicely. Against mid medium tanks, you will have to be a bit more careful, but you're quite cheap for that as well, so that's nice. Availability here and veterancy curve especially, quite nice as well. And you get 4 cards of these, so if you want to go, you can just go crumble or go home. If you want to have mass crumbles, this is a really nice start here in the recon tab, so nice start there. Infantry tab has some interesting units as well. As said before, all have that battle varied trait, so they come all with 1 level higher veterancy, which makes the defense groups here actually quite solid at dealing damage. 5 hit points here, and 2-star veterancy. Obviously, they get stressed really quickly as well with that, but the extra veterancy might be worth it here. Yeah, that is for sure quite nice. The mix of veterancy and disheartened trait there, pretty interesting. For sure. Willies and Bedfords and Co. here for the field engineers. So their availability is actually pretty low. That might still be subject to change because other field engineers have way higher availability than this. So hopefully that still changes. The 5-man TNT squadrons usually way better than this. If you compare to the Kazakhstan Pioneers, which cost 15 points as well and have an LMG and 8 hit points, and they have the same availability. This is not great at the moment, but I hope this is changing to the standard British Field Engineers availability. Should be until launch. Engineers leader here, pretty decent. Mod rifles with Piat, pretty solid as well. Can come in both half-track versions with MGs on top. 20 point Piat is nice. 8 hit points, not amazing. The drawn between CQC and long range is interesting as well, but they're decent at short range at least with the Bren and 3 Thompsons, so you can deal there nicely. And the availability with veterancy here is nice, though obviously in CQC the battle varied trait is also the biggest disadvantage, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they play out. Rifles standard as well, not amazing. With the extra damage output, still not helping out super much. More stance here, so yeah, all bit focused on CQC, which really is gonna be interesting with the battle varied trade. Gonna be some interesting fights there. Mod leader with a lot of firepower there as well. A hell of a lot of trades. 3 smoke grenades is nice. It's decent leader for sure. Just like the other ones as well. This one having appeared. Like all the leaders, really solid leaders. 20 point 5-man leader with TNT here. That's a good one. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. Rifle Piat, pretty standard as well. Double Pren, Piat, 25 points. Battle varied trade. So only that being special here. Assault Engineers, 12 strength. Flamethrower, Double Pren, Piat. Quite interesting squad here to get 2 cards. So, and with the higher availability on veterancy, it's gonna be a pretty annoying squad to beat if you run in there with weaker CQC. And if you have to deal, for example, with vehicles with enemy infantry, so Piats in that combo, that's a really interesting loadout. The double Bren also not playing against the flamethrower like with some German or Soviet units where you get normal LMGs that then can't fire at 1-meter range. Here it's a combination that works well. This is a good squad on mid-range, and this is a good squad at CQC as well. So Assault Engineer is pretty interesting here for 30 points, and Desert Rats for 30 points, interesting squad as well. Triple Pren, but only 8 hit points. Availability is good, but the 8 hit points hurt a bit. So Desert Rats here gonna be interesting. They have better stealth at the moment. Yeah, so that is interesting, but Desert Rats outside of that, interesting squad for sure. Bren, Thompson, yeah, good at CQC, but 30 points, they're not great at CQC for that. So, and they're not great at long range either. Desert Rats drawing into a couple of directions, not really doing it great. I like the Assault Engineers for 30 points a lot more at the moment. If they would come at 2 vet with the same availability, then it would be great. I mean, yeah, they're still nice, decent there, but 30 points is quite a lot. Tank tab, you get some Stuart 6s again, with 2 Brownings this time. No browning on top like the recon version. And you get a really cool unit from which was in Steel Vision Normandy 44 as well. And that is the Abbot of Chantry, which is a really interesting story. It's a crumble that was basically a mock version, that was a testing version, where they hadn't had the same level of frontal armor. The steel wasn't hardened steel, and it was also less than usual, and they were missing some frontal armor. That's why this unit only has 35 frontal armor instead of the usual 70 for Cromwell 5s and 4s. But it was lighter because of it as well. And it went a lot faster, so this goes 85 kmh as a medium tank when it comes to the gun. So this thing can be used in openers amazingly. It's a one-off unit. It's a great leader afterwards as well. 35 points is super cheap. So this is a great hero unit, similar to the 101st 16s or so, but 13. But this is for sure gonna be fun to play with. You have enough availability to use it nicely, and the other Cromwell's obviously nice as well. Cromwell 7's only coming in C-phase, a bit of an issue. If they would come earlier, it would be nice. Also, availability pattern here, not great. But the Cromwell 7s here with 420mm frontal armor and 90 penetration, usually a quite nice combo, especially for 65 points. Just coming in a bit late. Fireflies in all phases here. With the Fireflies 5Cs. A decent availability there, not great. But a good tank for sure, and you get a lot of cards there together with the Cromwells. You really get a good tank tab. All you need basically: high damage, long range, decent armor, quick, fast, medium support tank, some cheap light tanks, a funny, cool rush unit. That is a great leader as well for 35 points, and a Cromwell 7 that can be a bit more frontal armor later on if you want it and need it. Can be solid as well. Support tab, fantastic as well, because you get 3 cards of Cromwell 6s. You can get a lot of Cromwell 6s here. Availability on these guys always has been pretty decent as well, and the slots allow you for getting quite a couple as well. So Cromwell 6s here, fire support on 2000 meter range is fantastic with 7th. A really strong point of this division in Normandy 44 already, and it's still fantastic here. Cromwell 6s doing great job. The rest is normal. Vickers, Wasp not great. Supply, Commanders, and 3 nice options for it. Armored division, pretty standard. Anti-tank, really good as well. The best of the British AT, 6-pounder gun, Wolverine, 17-pounder, and the Achilles. You get good amount of 17-pounders in this deck over the Fireflies, the 4 cards of 17-pounders if you want to, and the 2 cards of Achilles. So penetration really not an issue for this division, and the Wolverine and the 6-pounder here doing a good amount of work as well for a cheaper buck. Wolverine fitting in nicely between Fireflies and the Cromwells here. So that's a nice mix in between there as well if you need that mid-range AP power. Solid anti-tank tab for sure. And then anti-air, you get stack counts AAs, which aren't great, but the Crusader AA Mark II pretty good. The Bedford one also decent, and the Crusader AA Mark II-B with the triple Polston is a pretty good AA piece as well. Solid availability, not amazing, but pretty solid, and especially for a triple 20mm. So good AA for this division as well. Artillery tab, interesting. No radio on the artillery mortars, as that's standard with the British. You get some 25-pounders though from A phase onwards, which is decent. Sexton, okay, not great. And you get A and B phase actually M12 GMCs from the Americans if you want them as well for some heavier hitting guns. And then Cromwell with a real gun as a 130-point artillery off-map vehicle, decent as well. Also artillery leader, the only ones without battle warrior at the moment. Yeah, interesting option as well. But yeah, slots okay in price, can get a couple of things, and all of these are okay. Nothing great, but you can work with it. Air tab, interesting as well. You get some Spitfire recon, unluckily without any guns. Mitchells, which have the same price, but different availability and different bomb loads. The one with 4 more 113 kilogram bombs comes with half the availability. So interesting payoff there. Depends a bit on the bomb drop and what you like there to which one you pick. I feel like the more availability might be worthwhile in this case, as the split on the 113 kilogram bombs usually not amazing when you have 12 of them. The 4 extra often landing off targets, so it might be worth it to go for the availability, but we will see. Spitfire, Mark 9 with 2 Hispanos, 4 Brownings. Decent fighter, quick, great agility, and a pretty decent price as well. Tempest, though, really good fighter, really fast, 420mm. Good availability as well here, especially in A phase. Currently, really nice availability for the Mark 5. 2 cards there, and Tempest Bombers as well. We're luckily out of the Tempest being busted phase that we had in the past in Steel Vision 2, but they can still be obnoxious, and you get a decent amount with the 4 cheaper tabs here in the air tab, but it's not amazing. The defense is absolute minimum, by the way, for everybody interested. So really strong division in my eyes. The Abbot of Chantry, the Cromwell Firefly combo, pretty nice. The Recon tab, all around solid. Infantry tab, decent. Assault Engineers leveling it up nicely. And the other stuff is okay. The Desert Red's a bit underwhelming, but outside of that, quite nice stuff. Cromwell support tab really strong. Anti-tank tab really strong. Anti-air tab absolutely fine. Artillery tab absolutely fine. So 7th Armored Desert Reds gonna be really interesting, and I'm really looking forward to see how they play here. As a Normandy 44, they were already a really entertaining division, and they might be in Steel Division 2 as well. With that said, guys, thanks for watching. I hope to see you next time. Bye bye, and have a great day.